Welcome home, Bitcoin truth seekers. One second while we'll get started in one moment here. I'm going to share this link out and we will be on our way. Again, sorry for the delay. We'll get things rolling in just a moment. Oh, maybe we won't. Okay, almost rolling. Sorry to keep you waiting. All right, so Bitcoin truth seekers. It is Sunday, and the terror of the boring ass weekend is almost over. Bitcoin's been kind of sideways, as you may have noticed, and that's never really fun. But I think we're going to get back in the action pretty soon here. So I am live right now, and I shared this over to the Telegram and the Discord little group. And so if anybody wants anything charted or any interesting news, just post it in the live chat and I will mention it. So once again, welcome home, Bitcoin Truth Seekers. It is Sunday, 10th of October. It's 11:35 a.m. Sorry I have not been doing the daily views. Actually, of all things, I hurt my shoulder, and it's just been kind of like hell. Not permanently damaged, but just kind of pulled a muscle or two, and I've just been sort of laying around in pain. And also the market, even though it's been pumping, really hasn't been that much to say. So looking at bitcoinlevy.com, got more for you there. I try to keep things posted. They actually grabbed the microphone. Maybe you heard what I was talking about before, maybe not. Anyway, here we are. Let's get started. So, looking at coin 360 this morning, you can see, or this afternoon I should say, you can see that in general, it's this is just looking at the last hour. I am noticing that we are starting to see a little bit of a perk up in the market. Ethereum at least is moving up again. Bitcoin is, well, the price of Bitcoin. Actually, you know what? This is, 1 hour. So anyway, doesn't look right. Something's not quite right. I want Bitcoin against USD. This isn't coming up right. This is going to be the market looking last 24 hours. Let me just dump that. There we go. Last 24 hours, 1 day. You can see Bitcoin's in the green, 0.76. Ethereum's in the red, mix of green and red in the market. Of course, SHIB is in the green. That's nice to see. Nice to see XRP in the green, up 1%. Let's look at the last hour. Oh, no. Last hour. Okay, last hour. Bitcoin slightly up. Ethereum slightly up. ADA in the green last hour. XRP in the green last hour. Algo in the green last hour. Theta making a little bit of a move there. So anyway, definitely. Oh, and LTC is in green last hour. So in general, a mix of green and red in the market today. Last hour at least. Looking at Binance, 22 billion in spot trading volume last 24 hours, down 4.27%. That's really not much volume at all, but it is Sunday, and Bitcoin's kind of holding on sideways, so that's kind of nice. So very, very little retail spot trading volume on Binance. I would say you want at least 30 billion for a good day. It's 22 billion and it's dropping. That ain't much at all. You want at least 75 or 70 billion in spot. And I'm sorry, about 70 to 75 billion in derivatives or futures, and we'll only have 47 billion. So definitely we have really half of what we should for a good day, down 4%. And if we do look, how's that little 7-day graph moving? Yeah, definitely trending down the last couple hours. So crap spot and derivatives volume on Binance, although encouragingly enough, where I would expect to see this at low around like 3 billion or so, we are seeing like 5.6 billion in Bitcoin trading volume last 24 hours across the big exchanges. So Binance has over a billion, has 4.3 billion. Coinbase only half a billion basically. So definitely some volume on Binance is happening. Anyway, I like seeing this I'll call it you can call it 5.55 if you want, but I'll say 5.6 billion. And that's cool. So we're not seeing much spot trading at all, volume on Binance. We're not seeing much derivatives or futures on Binance, but we are seeing definitely over the big exchanges, a noticeable amount of trading volume. So 5.5, or I should say 5.6 million, that's not bad. That's a day that Bitcoin can make a move. So for a Sunday with very low spot trading volume and futures volume on Binance, that's a pretty mighty amount of retail trader volume for Binance. Interesting. And that's probably why it's holding on sideways. Looking at Bybit here has this great total liquidations feature, this graph here. So yesterday on the 9th, we had around 33 million in liquidated long shorts and 67 liquidated longs. So that's how it went. Today so far, we've had 623 million in liquidated longs. Shorts. I'm sorry, I'm backwards. Shorts and about 10 million in liquidated longs. So anyway, some shorts have gotten wrecked today for sure. Anyway, nothing too spectacular in those numbers. Wasn't like a big dip or a big pump, wiped a lot of longs or shorts. Looking at Bitcoin on the 45-minute chart, I find this interesting. So as you can see, and I drew it earlier, but my computer hung up here and jacked it up. So I'm not going to redraw it too carefully. But as you can see, we're kind of in this little bit of a wedge. How do I do it? A bit of a wedge pattern, if you look at that. So I think that, I would say sometime. So I guess you could kind of draw it like this if you want it. You could do that, but it wouldn't really match too well. So I'm going to do it about there. Anyway, for what it's worth, I kind of see a bit of a wedge pattern going here, which is going to end around 13th of October or the 11th. Anyway, just Bitcoin's in kind of a wedge. So, but what I find sort of important here that I like to see at least is Bitcoin with the low spot trading volume and futures trading volume. Even with that volume being low, we are seeing some nice retail volume across the board, and you can kind of see that I see it as slightly in a bit of an upwards channel here, taking a little bit of creative liberty here with this channel. But I do think so. And if we look at the heartbeat of the channel, we are kind of respecting that. So, Bitcoin has been steadily, but only slightly moving up over this weekend, and it's above the 200 moving average on the 45-minute chart. And directional index has stayed in the green for the most part. ADX is kind of low. KRI is right, just hovering above and below the line, basically the mid-range. It's really, really tightly kind of hugging it right now. When you have something like this, great days here. That's a good day, good day, good day, good day. When you have dumps like this, you can say that's kind of a bad day. But, right here, we've been just sort of right in this zone. So it's just been doing a lot of nothing but slightly upwards momentum. And my channel went away. Well, anyway, so slight upwards momentum. I guess you could say, I would say so. I mean, they're very slight. But there's a high. Here's a higher high. Here's a almost higher high or equal high, you might say. Anyway, but definitely we're moving up kind of slowly here, but I think it's valid. I do. So a gentle upwards momentum, upwards channel. And we have a lot of beautiful volume here with the visible BPVR, visible volume, a lot of buy sell volume right here. You can almost kind of see where there's this, if I was to draw a little, let me actually get rid of all that stuff. If I was to draw a little rectangle here that matches that volume there, you can kind of see where we have been bouncing above that volume spike for support and resistance. Anyway, we're sideways, slight uptrend. It's weekend. Spot trading sucks. Futures trading sucks on Binance, but overall, Bitcoin trading volume is looking pretty good. And we're just barely keeping an upwards channel over the weekend. Good enough. That's kind of cool. Ethereum. Issue I see with Ethereum that's kind of a drag right now is if we were to, let me do a Fibonacci sequence on Ethereum here. If we were to go here recently where we started moving up, we went to here. The thing is, we're not quite keeping above the 200 moving average. We're sort of hugging that a little bit too hard and getting below it. We did bounce off a fib level of 236. That makes sense. So it's sort of holding this fib level. I can see some areas where it does match it. Good to go. All about right now, can we go into Monday without dumping below that 200 moving average? And it's a 45-minute chart, and maybe we'd see a a 314 moving average bounce there. But anyway, it's holding on sideways, but I'd like to see it stay above that 2 moving average. That's not really good or bad, but I'd like to see it stay above there. If we do note here, we have a lot of nice volume above. So we have more volume above than below. So I think that if Bitcoin starts moving, Ethereum versus USDT will pull its head out of its butt. Also, Bitcoin just needs a little bit of a bump to start moving, and I think Ethereum will get over this somewhat edgy dumpiness that I see. Doge, just a negative shitstorm. So it did pump earlier last week. That was a wonderful thing. But the issue is we broke below the 200 moving average. We just have not been able to get above it. And now we're dumping even more so. Directional index is showing, velocity going towards the downside. You don't ever want this where you see the price action, see how it's kind of, whenever, this is a little just very, very unscientific thing that I oftentimes notice. You never want the price action and the ADX, which is the white line there, aiming at each other as if they're going to meet. That means you're getting a lot of downward velocity, and that's just not positive. So Doge, as far as I'm concerned, probably out of the running for the next week, unless it really starts moving. Doge versus I'm sorry, you know what? That's Doge versus USDT. Let's do, that was Doge. Let's do SHIB versus USDT. SHIB versus USDT. Where did I do this Fibonacci sequence from? Let's go way back here to when it first broke above the 200 moving average on this 45-minute chart, and we can kind of see where, in general, this does work. All right, so you can see how beautifully it has been kind of holding this fib, how it's sort of been relevant. I like it, and that's kind of a cool thing. So it shows the validity of it. I like that. That's a good thing to see. So right now we are well above the 200 moving average. We pumped, of course. We came down to the 0.5 Fibonacci bounce after a while of working on it. That's very, very good. Came to the 236, found resistance, and now we're ranging between the 382 and the 236. We have a nice bit of a volume spike right here where we're at. You can kind of see it there that we're playing with. I like that. And the one thing is, I tend to be a little bit hesitant when things are between the 236 and the 382 fib level, especially when it really sticks like this. I tend to just hang out and hold off until they break back above the 236 and bounce off it and find, and start moving up, get some volume up there. I just find this is a bit of a no man's land. That's just me. I'm not really a fan. I tend to like to catch that bounce off the 618 or the 0.5 sideways right here. It's always been a little bit of a danger zone. I have just found that can be a bit of a 50-50 for me, just in my very slight non-scientific experience. I should really do more. I should take more note of it. But basically, I find this to be a range where I don't really trust it to go up or down. Right now, the indicators are pretty positive. ADX is very, very low, but trending up. Directional index is in the green again. Let's just see how it goes. I mean, I could say let's see what happens. I'm going to keep a darn close eye on this, and I think if Bitcoin starts moving up, I think SHIB USDT will start moving up too. It's Bitcoin is very, very sideways right now. SHIB's had an incredible run recently. It made a good bounce off the 0.5, and then it broke above, and it's kind of ranging in a place that I just, like I say, I don't like trading here. I find that this is kind of a no man's land. I really have myself personally over time found that when you get stuck at this level here between these two, it really is a situation where it could just truly go the way. I'll have to, that'd be something to research, like how often, do you break positive or negative on that at this between these two fib levels. I'm not trustful. I think overall, it's all about, let's see what happens this coming week. Sol versus USDT, it's kind of sideways, but it tried to keep above the 314, made a bounce, got above the 200. Now it's below the 314 and the 200. The 314's crossed above the 200. I think that Sol versus USDT, just a kind of a sideways weak ass chart right now. Indicators aren't incredibly strong. We'll see how it does. I think it's going to have it stay in the sun again and start moving up, especially with all the beautiful NFTs that are now being made on Sol. But I think it's just, what we could do? Let's try this. Do a little fib sequence here. I'm just going to go right here to VIP retracement. Let's see. Let's just grab it. Hey there.